I've logged into a second tenant that I've connected to OpenText Content Management 25.3. So I want you to think about all the valuable stuff that's stored in content management. Think of the formulas, the source code, the intellectual property. And by simply connecting to content management, TDR can detect and prevent the bad stuff before it's too late. Now, in this case, my eye is immediately drawn to this highest priority incident, which is a user, Tessa Walker, that's been suspected of doing some sort of imposter. So someone is logging in and pretending to be Tessa Walker. Maybe her credentials were stolen. So obviously this is worrisome for me. So I'm going to take a closer look. So I'm going to click on the highest risky user, which in this case really is Tessa Walker. And again, I've got this fantastic summary from the Aviator that sort of tells me exactly what's going on. And there's quite a lot going on around here. I see some anomalous behaviors. I see Tessa's account being connected in from Italy, but that's really unusual because I know Tessa is a US-based employee. I see some unusual access of file repositories inside content management and so on and so forth. So a lot of stuff for me to sort of break down. But again, I don't need to look at complex information. It's all nicely summarized for me. So I do want to sort of get more information. So I'm going to filter on the entity and I'm going to pick on sort of the two most sort of critical behavioral threat indicators. Number 2 here looks like there's some really sort of strange behaviors. This is the example that I mentioned earlier. I see that Tessa Walker has logged in from Italy, but that's unusual for Tessa Walker. This is not a simple rule. The machine really has learned the login habits and home countries of every single user inside the system. And so that's unusual for Tessa. Also, Tessa appears to be sort of using Chrome and Windows. And so that's not Tessa, right? So again, the machine has learned what is normal for Tessa and is calling out and drawing attention to the fact that this is unusual. In addition, this second behavioral threat indicator that I see here, holy cow, looks like she's accessing, yep, sure enough, some really sensitive HR files. And that's being done in an unusual way. So I definitely want to sort of get a little bit more detail on the files that were being touched. So I'm going to do a quick search here, look at the raw events, and yep, those are some sensitive documents. I see some passports, I see some government IDs, some performance data. So I'm going to sort of close this tab and I'm going to go back to the incident. And as always, I'm going to take immediate action. I have enough. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to run a playbook that I've actually created specifically for content management integrations. I'm going to immediately disable the user and send this incident entirely back to my Aviator. So by disabling the user, that user is no longer able to sort of log in. We know it's an imposter, so they won't be able to do any sort of further damage. It also kills any sort of processes. And if I look at what's in my Aviator, you can see that it automatically created this incident, TDR incident number 379866, anomalous activity for user Tessa Walker, suspected imposter. And in addition, it has also sort of automatically uploaded all the evidence. And I can see from the PII analysis that, yep, there really is sensitive information in these files. It's sort of done that analysis for me. And of course, if I wanted to sort of do some additional analysis, I always have the option of asking Aviator for more information. So just a fantastic story around sort of